Hmm. Hey everyone. Today I want to speak about a topic that, I thought it was gonna be a seminar of its own, and I just want to really talk about it, so I'm not scheduling anything else. I'm just talking about this in this video. And what I'm talk this video is about money mindset, and specifically what money mindset. Now, many people have difficulties with their money management, right? And but the thing is, okay, let's start over. How do you feel about money? Do you feel good about money? By feeling good about money, like when you spend money, do you feel good? Like especially on the things that you don't really like that are forced upon you, right? For example, tuition and rent, and if you're gonna buy a new car, like car payments. When you think of those like expenses, and when you think about the money that goes out of you, do you feel happy with that? Right? It's hard to be happy about that. Because like your resources are actively being drained away from you, right? But now, um, is there a way to feel differently about that? And does this mindset even need to change? So let's motivate the problem first. Why is it bad when we have a difficult relationship with spending? It becomes difficult because a lot of the investments that we take for ourselves, for us to get something in, we need to expend some, right? And so by spending money, you create opportunities to make money. This is a common saying, right? You have to spend a little bit of money first, but in order to get money. But the thing is, if you have a hard time with spending money, then you're going to be blocking yourself from, like investments in yourself that you can grow and such. But now, like, why is that a problem at all? I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of rambling, so I'm just going to continue rambling until I get some sense of what I want to talk about. Like, I want to talk about the problem with like the traditional mindset of money, and why it's difficult for people to, like why that is a problem, and the why that's a problem is it's representative of how you view limited resources that you have. And so when your resources are limited, um, and you don't have a clear defined way of getting more resources so that you can feel abundant, like it's not just a money thing. You're gonna feel like blocked on this anywhere, even if it's not money. So I want to be talking about like changing the reservoir kind of a model where this is the money I have, and if I keep spending more and more and more, then I'm gonna eventually run dry. That's the reservoir model, right? But the model that I'm proposing and the model that I'm gonna be educating you on in the December program that I have is the streaming model of like you know money comes in and then it goes out. Money comes in and then it goes out. You want more, you just create the opening of the money inflow, and then that's how you control the expenditures. Okay. So now let's think about this. How do I structure this? Okay, I think I have an idea. So let's try take two of the reservoir and the stream. Hello, everyone. How do you feel about money? And specifically, how do you feel about spending, especially for spending on yourself? Now, let's take some hypothetical examples to really get you in the mood. You want to buy something, and let's say it's a significant purchase, like a car or like moving, right? And then um, you have the initial price of the down payment, and then so it's a pretty hefty sum, right? And then on top of that, you're gonna have monthly payments, and on top of that, you're gonna have interest on those monthly payments, and it depending on your term, you're gonna be paying this fixed large amount for like something something months. Now, when you think about that, on top of your other expenditures, like your rent or your mortgage payment or your healthcare or the subscription services that you have, how do you how does that make you feel as you think about your expenditures that are ongoing on a regular basis? Now, let's say you want to start a new hobby, and then the new hobby requires new basic equipment, okay? And then you need some education and training, okay? And then you need to join a gym or a workshop or whatever, so you need to pay registration fees, and on top of that, a recurring monthly fee for the membership, and so on and so forth. Now, as you think of this situation where money just keeps needing to be spent, and then like it doesn't even have to end there. You're gonna have groceries, right? Or you're gonna eat out on one day, and then you spend money on that. Now, when you get the credit card bill, and it's like pretty high, higher than you expected, how does that make you feel? If it makes you feel stressed out, if it makes you feel like kind of a grimacing, then you might have what I call the reservoir money mentality. And now, what is this like? Why the reservoir? Let's dig into that. What's the source of the discomfort? Like, why feel uncomfortable when, like you think about money? Why not buy a new Mercedes today? Well, the response to that is, how am I going to be able to afford that? Because there's nothing stopping you from making the purchase, right? And you'll have it, but then, like, paying for it is the problem. So, how am I going to be able to afford that? That's the big question. And more importantly, that is the unanswered question. How, because if you knew how you were going to finance it, then you would have no problem with it. For example, I have a full time job. Because of that full time job, I'm able to pay my mortgage. But now, suppose I get fired. Suppose I got let go. I got laid off. Now, then it becomes, this question becomes significant and important again, right? How am I going to afford this? And it is significant because, again, I do not know the answer to that. And now, when I don't know the answer to that, what is that another representation of? We normally tend to think of our money as a pool, as a reservoir. And it's like, in terms of, federal money, it's literally called the Federal Reserve, right? So you have this fixed pool of money, and not only is the container size more or less fixed, this input is also more or less fixed in the form of paychecks. But now, because this is fixed, when you think about taking the water from here and putting it in other places, you're always aware of the possibility that this can go dry at some point. And that is a scary feeling. Because just like water, when this money pool runs out, there is a threat of survivability. because a lot of modern, like livelihood depends on you having money. And the reservoir mindset is not just limited to money. If you are food scarce, you will think of food in this way because you don't know how you're gonna procure the next amount of food that's gonna come your way. If you are housing scarce, housing is also going to feel this way because you don't know how you're gonna sleep tonight. So, working with this limited pool of anything is basically the reservoir mindset. So, now that we motivated this problem, how do we get around it? What's a different relationship with money that you can have that is not the reservoir system? And that is what I call the streaming money model. My dog wants to go out. So what's in the streaming model? Streaming model works a little bit differently. Streaming model doesn't start with your pool of money. Now, the traditional reservoir model of the money starts with the pool, and then you have expenditures. So you take a little bit out of the pool, and then you have your monthly paycheck, and then it adds a little into the pool. But it's all about the pool. The pool is like what's there, and you're kind of there to just observe it. The pool is in control of your money. But now, the streaming mindset works a little bit differently. It starts out with the desire first. And I assume there's no money. So, I want to buy first class tickets to Australia for my 10-year anniversary next year. It's gonna be pretty expensive, but 10 years of marriage, I think that deserves a pretty big celebration. So, I am going to make money for that. Now, I start with this desire. And now, I answer the question, how do I afford that? Now, because I don't have a reservoir already, now I can purely focus on the problem-solving part. How do I make money? Now, I have a system called the 3-problem method. So I am going to make money using that. And when I use the 3-problem method, I can make money with not just a small stream of money, like small, like $5 deals that I offer to people. Occasionally, I have $50 incomes. Occasionally, I have $200 deals come in. Occasionally, I have $1,000, $2,400, $3,000 purchases that other people get from me. But I am in charge of what I put out to the market, and as long as I am in focus with what I can provide to the world, and I'm aware of what other people want from the world, I can happen to make those two meet together in the middle, and then a financial transaction happens. And I get the money. But the thing is, the money that I get, I don't just put it in a reservoir. Because I started out with the intention of I am going to purchase first class tickets to Australia. So, the money gets spent. So now, you may think that this is a zero sum, right? I end up with nothing. No. I, through this experience, get training and repetition and skill development in making that amount of money. And moreover, the programs and the offers that I put out into the world may still be active. So while my purchase is complete, money may be continuing to flow in through me. That's attractive, right? So I am in charge of the money making process. And there's nothing that just sits here. And when there's nothing that sits here, And I'm just in control of the money that comes in so that it can go out with my desires. Money becomes a joyful thing that allows for a lot of the things that I want in this world. Money becomes a means for me to interact with the world, for me to give out things into the world, and for me to get things out of the world. And that is happy money, in my opinion. So, if you're interested in not being miserable with money, the streaming money mindset can be a good opportunity for you. But now, eventually, everybody comes to the same question, right? The question that you already have. So, how do I make the money? I don't know how to make the money. But as a life coach, I can tell you that when people say, I don't know, people do know, but they just don't believe that the answer is correct. And so they don't try it out. So that's what my program is for. If you're interested in working with the streaming model of the money so that you can make your dreams come true and have a lot of fun with it, join my program called Santa's Workshop. It opens in December, but the registration is open from now until the 21st of November. And then in December, I'm not only going to teach you about the more details around the streaming model of money, I'm going to help you use the 3 problem method. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm literally going to do live demos. And I'm going to host co-working workshops so that all the participants can do it with you all together. And we're going to bounce ideas off of each other. You would ask, would you buy this from me? If so, why not? You would have these interactive sessions where you get a lot of feedback so that you can have control over your money making processes. Cool. All right, let's make the second video. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about organization, which I started talking about. In our earlier video today, I gave you a tour of my room and what I think about organization. Now, my room, as you saw, like the the view like beyond this webcam is not that pretty, as you saw from the earlier video. But now I have a very relaxed relationship with organization. I like to put everything out. It's for a reason, right? I like to put things out so that I get a visual reminder that these items exist. Because there were lots of times where I buy something, I forget about it because it's not in my view and I don't like open cabinets all the time. And so I buy new ones. And then so how do I solve that problem? I tried opening cabinets multiple times, but it's just not my style. So I leave out everything in the open. Can some people call me messy? Yes. Can some people call me tidy? Also yes. But I have a very fluid and easy relationship with myself. But the people I work with, and perhaps you, the viewer, may not have such a relaxed relationship with yourself. And now, so, what's the bad thing about being disorganized? What is the bad thing about not being organized? I saw a video about woman with ADHD, and I think it's ADHD, but basically the caption was like, "This is what a woman thinks like," and the video goes like how the whole house is a mess, but this person doesn't know how to start fixing the problem, right? So basically, kitchen is dirty, right? But in order to clean the kitchen, you need like equipments from the shed. But the shed is also messy, and to like organize the shed, you need the garage space to like kind of like have storage. But the thing is, the garage is also messy. So it becomes this eternal pit that just circles around and around. In I can't do anything because nothing works, right? And now I ask, what's so bad about that? Because the thing is, like, the bad is all societal shame. Like, what is inherently bad about messy? One would say then you might attract pests. Okay. But, like, are pests that big of a problem? It's manageable, right? Of course, I don't want pests in my house. But you can call professionals to take care of that problem, right? And now, if pests bug me that much, I just need to do a weighing, right? Do I want to keep this lifestyle at the cost of pests, or do I want to live a somewhat of a cleaner life so that I don't have to deal with pests? It's a decision you can make. And now, like, I know this sounds like it's like grossly oversimplifying, and it sounds almost insensitive, right? But this kind of a radical, different perspective is oftentimes what a lot of people miss. People live years after years after years after years of thinking that how they live is a problem. And I think that is the bigger problem, right? Because why is that the problem? Because you never really give yourself the opportunity to express and experiment with the system that works for you. So my method of putting everything out where I can see it works for me because I've experimented with it without judgment. Turns out, when I leave everything out, it's convenient for me, but at the same time, I don't have a lot of working space. So, there are times when I need a lot of working space. I need to solve that problem, right? But I need to solve it in my own terms because after all, this room belongs to me. But if I don't follow my system and I look at my, like current state as a problem, then I work with organization tactics that don't necessarily work for me. And, then of course you can find the organization system that works for you by listening to other people, right? But the thing is, the core of the problem isn't using the right organization method for you. The core problem is you treating yourself like a problem. And when you don't treat yourself like a problem, you will have stacks of things and you will have a mess and you will sometimes have a problem with how your organizational like things are, how your space is organized. You will have a problem with that. But the thing is, if you don't treat yourself like a problem, you are going to come up with your solution to it. But when you are just constantly in the mode of self-judgment and blaming yourself for being in this predicament of a problem, that's when you can't solve the problem because, like you're not living your system. So you have all these methods that are supposed to work, but then because it's not organically coming from you, you're not going to be motivated to do it. So you're going to fall off the bandwagon and then you're going to feel bad about yourself, and then it just replicates and it just like increases your dissatisfaction with yourself, right? And you'll hate yourself more, and the things will keep accruing because nothing addressed at the core why you need to keep things accruing. So all in all, the only problem that you really experience is the fact that you see yourself as a problem. So, even if you're a hoarder, even if you have like if even if your room is like filthy with like poop everywhere and like drunk soda cans and pizza boxes everywhere, there's a reason you're doing that. What if you weren't the problem? What if you lived in like almost like a pigsty? What if there's a reason for that? And what if it's not a problem? What opportunities does that open for you? Because again, you live a life that's conducive to like dirtiness, messiness. And it serves a purpose, but also there will be uncomfortable things about it. There's two sides to everything. But when you don't treat yourself like a problem, you can come up with your own system of handling the discomfort while also respecting the reason why your space becomes a certain way. That's it. All right. Um, that's all the videos I wanted to record today. And the reason why I'm streaming this is because again, I have a workshop in December where I'm going to be, streaming all the time, and I just want to get used to the feeling of being on camera all the time. So that's why. If you're wondering why I'm, not why I'm like recording, why I'm not just recording, like why am I on stream doing this? It's because I need to practice. You know, talking to people even when there is no observable person on the other end of the screen. Um, that's it for today's stream. I may be back later, but thanks for joining. If you're watching the VOD, bye.